From the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to St. Matthew, who proclaimed life to the world, let us listen to the proclamation of life and salvation for our souls. The Apostle Matthew writes, "Then Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and precede him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. 'It is a ghost,' they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them. 'Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid.' Peter said to him in reply, 'Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water.' He said, 'Come.' Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, 'Lord, save me.' Immediately Jesus stretched out his hands and caught him, and said to him, 'O you of little faith, why did you doubt?' After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, 'Truly you are the Son of God.' This is the truth. Peace be with you." Today we hear another account, or of a different time, when Jesus walked on the water. And it tells us that Peter got out of the boat because the Lord commanded him to do so. Peter said, "Give me courage and I will be courageous." But then when Peter looked away from the Lord, what did he do? He started to sink, and Christ had to save him. Many of us have this desire to be courageous. We have this desire to do great things for the Lord. And we say, "Lord, call me to do these great things." But then, when we start to do them, we find that things are not as easy as we had expected. And at the first sign of trouble, we look away and we begin to sink. We begin to fail. When we seek to do the will of God, we must continue to do the will of God even when it is difficult, even when it is challenging, even when we feel that we are sinking or failing. When we do the will of God, we must throw ourselves with confidence into his will, to be ready to walk upon the waves, to preach to our friends and family, to do things that might cost us money, jobs, or opportunity, all for the sake of the love of God.